Absolutely, my top tip for interviewing is preparation. I think preparation needs to be done into the company, a bit about the company's history, a bit about what the company do, and most importantly a bit about company's clients. So for example, we're a firm of accountants, so what I like to see in an interview is someone that's done research into our client base, what type of clients we have, the size of our clients. So I think the main tip I could offer is preparation for interview.
The most important thing that I'd say is do your research and plan for it. One of the biggest mistakes is not getting enough background information on the company. Probably the opening question a company would ask you is, tell me what you know about the organisation. And if you can't answer that, then I'm sorry, but you might as well just go home there and then. So do your research. There's lots of resources now, such as the internet. You can phone up as a customer or ask for a brochure, literature, and really that'll give you a whole lot more confidence as well when you know what you're talking about.
It's all about preparation. Make sure that you've looked on the internet site, that you've spoken to other people, come to careers fairs, that kind of thing. Make sure you know the company inside out, back to front.
I think the first point of call a candidate should do when preparing for an interview is to find out exactly what the employer is looking for in terms of their interview structure. That will enable the candidate to then research the company, maybe to go to the employer to see if they can have some mock interviews or gain some additional information, and also use the careers service at their university because they will have lots of information on interviews.
Preparation, absolutely preparation. So do some things to make yourself stand out from the crowd in your general life, and then before the interview, phone up the manager. What are you looking for in this position? What sort of qualities will I need to show? Can I come and spend some time working in the department for a half a day or a day to get the feel of it? Don't just turn up to the interview on the day having done none of that, because you just simply won't get the job.
Well, they need to research in the broad term. So they need to research the company first and the industry. So they need to know a little bit. Then they need to do quite an extensive research on the position they apply for. That they can do by reading the job ad, reading the graduate website. That's where they will find out exactly what we have to offer and what are the skills which are required, so they can make sure that they have those skills, and they can find ways to prove us during the interview that they have those skills. The other thing is they need to, before they come to the interview, actually review their CV and their application form. So we actually, they know what they've told us before, because we usually remember because we just read it. Sometimes they don't. And the last thing I would say is probably they need to practice, do like a mock interview. That's always a good thing, so they can think about the questions that we are going to ask them in rehearsal.
I think first and foremost it's to make sure that you research potential employers so you know all about them, so when you present yourself for interview you're actually able to give a good account of yourself. Secondly, it's to research yourself and effectively draw up a SWOT analysis. That's to say, look at your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities and threats, so you know then how to sell yourself as a product. And then I think research the questions that you're likely to be asked and work out how you're going to answer those questions based on your own SWOT analysis. And finally, prepare by practicing being interviewed with the careers service staff or with friends or whoever it may be. Don't go into interviews cold, make sure that you're prepared.
I think at an interview stage it's very difficult for a candidate because it's a very tense situation. Most common mistakes that candidates can make is letting the nerves get carried away and therefore not understanding a question that's being posed to them and trying to answer it and getting muddled up during the interview, which again is only going to confuse the candidate further. I think it's important for candidates to try and understand the question that's being asked, and if they're not sure, ask to be reconfirmed.
In preparing for an interview, I think one of the most important things is that they know what is on their CV or their application form. Print out a copy of it, take it with you so that you can refer to it during the interview. Make sure you've researched the company, that you know what the company does and how it makes its money. Look on the website, but also talk to people who work for the company if possible. Come to careers fairs and talk to the employees. Find out as much as you possibly can. In my experience, one of the most common mistakes is not conveying their enthusiasm for the company and for the position. If you're going for a job in IT, make sure you convince your interviewer that you really do want to work for that company and you want to work for IT. It's no good saying that you're keeping your options open and actually in a few month's time you might want to go into banking. You're not going to get very far.
Probably my main interview tip to all students would be make sure you prepare for your interview in terms of your skills and experience. Be ready to give examples to the interviewer about how you've had experience in terms of working, education. They'll be asking for your competencies, so give me an example of how you did this, or give me an example of when you did this. The worst thing is when you have someone that gets stage fright on the day and doesn't have any information to give. So just make sure you know yourself, your skills, experience and your CV really well.
Yeah, my top tip for interviews is to make sure that you act yourself and that you're relaxed. Partners want to see how you're going to be when you interact with others, working with clients and that kind of thing. So they need to see that you have a personality and that you're a happy-go-lucky person.